I am Shahin Ahmed. I am a student of the University of Hertfordshire. My student ID is 21066 346. Now I am doing discussion integrated management research project with my video presentation. My topic name is green supply chain practices and its advantage and disadvantage in the UK. A comparative study on Apple Incorporate and Samsung. And this is the slide of research background. Now I want to explain research background for environment pollution is one of the and major concern in the world in the drastic impact of environment pollution of human life. According to Samad et al. 2021 business of activities create 70% of like the total population pollution, and the rest is one of the household and the other sources. So companies became be aware of the issues and take actions like that reduce the environmental impact of operations. So this in studies investigate of advantage and disadvantage in the UK of green supply chain, Apple and Samsung, and in the companies in the UK, and it will be the provide of a clear concept like whether adoption and green supply chain is profitable, and how is that we can adopt it. Bhatia and Gangi, like it also makes them aware of like is challenges of their companies and face with adopting of this green supply chain life green. And this is slide name is data collection. It's meant for collecting of this data reason of the published journals and the sustainability reports of Samsung and Apple company. Both qualitative and quantitative data were collected and analyzed. This qualitative analysis techniques techniques it collected the company's financial problem performance, their action boiled of the green supply chain and their impact of the company's environment, impact of the company environment. And this is the evidence, and this is the data analysis and discussion slide. And this is the finding of objective one. Now I want to discuss to critically evaluate of the concept of green supply chain adoption process of the business, and like the quantitative of the analysis methods of the follow to analyze the data of was the collected from two academic journals articles. And from the articles was found that the companies to consider eight things to make their supply chain and green supply chain in hand 2018, like sourcing production from ethical sources, manufacturing, like transporting and selling, packaging, and the products of that reduce of the environment impact. And however, I want to ensure that the risk of those products of that after that of their life products need to recycle 2018 Sophie et al. 2023 state of the companies need to minimize minimize compliant with the environment, design products easily reduce of the recycle, reduce of the pollutions like products, and the make a green supply chain in Chain Batia and Gangi 2021, and the pollution of the green supply chain is material like that is a social impact of raw materials manufacturing and their product of to analyze that the advantage and disadvantage of the green supply chain adopting in Apple and of the Samsung companies of the United Kingdom like that to fulfill the research object data was collected from two academic journals of the website of Samsung and green supply chain Apple, Samsung and Apple, and analyzed the benefits of their drawbacks of the grain supply chain adoption. The report of Apple 2023 shows of that adoption of green supply chain reduce of their operating costs significantly, and other recycled materials and the green supply chain saves and creates of the image of the customers. Similarly, of the report Samsung 2023, and like that 2023 also reports of that Samsung also like reports and green supply chain of the company's resources and sustainability which increase employee and more moral of the moral of the motivations like Degan Bonari 2022, Smith DTGO and Smith 2019 state of the both companies of the experience high investment of the requirements. The green supply chain is the supply chain includes many parties which creates difficulty in developing like that green supply chain in the ABBU and the BD 2019. And this is the finding of objective 3, and to analyze that impact adopting of green supply chain of the financial performance to Apple incorporate and Samsung in the United Kingdom. And for analyzing the impact of adopting the green supply chain of Apple and Samsung company, their 5 years financial of statements were collected and analyzed. Now I want to mention for Apple, the above graphs shows that there is a consistent growth of the sales of Apple company and the sales of in the UK, where in 2018 the company earned 59,531 dollars million. In 2022 the volume of raised to 99,903 dollars million. The billion of the sales increased from from like that uh, 2 pounds. And now I want to again mention that the volume of sales increased from 2,56,809 to 3,94,328 28 from 2018 to 2022. The profit of volume became almost twice within the 5 years. The Wall Street Journal 2023. The report implies of the adoption of supply chain increased the revenue of the sales because is increased the volume of reputation of the companies like is a green supply chain volume of sales Digan Bonari ETL 2021. So green supply chain is the positively impacts of the performance of the companies Now I want to mention that the Samsung, the above of graph shows consist the growth of the sales of Samsung company from 2018 to 2022 in the UK, where in 2018 the company is like that profit of 43 million in 2022, and the volume of raised to for $54 million. The volume of sales increased from 243 million 771,415 to 302 million to 231,360 360 from 2018 to 2022. The Wall Street Journal and the 2023, the graph of in growth of the sales volume, the profit of margin 2019, and the profit of the decreased the report of the adopting of the green supply chain and sales and profit the volume of the Samsung companies like that modification companies performance and the supply chain of the and this is the finding of objective for to recommend elements of the best practices of green supply chain within Apple Incorporated and Samsung and in the United Kingdom. And their website and the sustainability report was analyzed to identify the best practices of the Samsung and Apple, and the companies then extracted the best practices, the assets to create a green supply chain, and green supply chain positively affects business performance as identified from analyzing financial statements of these companies, like the high investment of required develop of green supply chain. And showing my slides provides benefits in long run. Buddy and Martha explained 2019. And this is the conclusion slide, like therefore analyzing the green supply chain of Samsung and Apple company and the UK and green supply chain is found as company is profitable and long term. And like that, it reduce operating and cost significantly, enables the company to learn more profits. Like green supply chain creates a good reputation in the market, which includes the company's sales volume and increasing the profit volume. And other sides is high investment requirements are one of the major challenges of developing like green supply chain is establishing coordinations among of parties involved. The supply chain is another challenges. And this is the recommendation slide. Here is mentioned company should follow a green supply chain because it increases the company's profitability, and green supply chain is also essential to become competitive in the current business world. Because and other one, it is also an ethical duty of company protect environment and play of active the reducing environment. And this is the reflection slide. Now I want to mention that I am delighted to complete the research within the due time. I do not face my difficulties in conducting this research, as Apple and Samsung are two renowned public limited. The companies operate almost the entire world, so I can easily collect the required data conduct this research. And again, sustainability is one of the trending topics. It became easier for me to find up to date necessary data. I also got the required guideline from my instructor to complete the research. I did not face my difficulties like that completing this research. And I face difficulties in the data analysis part, as I collected data regarding green supply chain. It became and which I would like to use to analyze that green supply chain impact, but I could not overcome problem that successfully completed my research. And this is the slide of references slide. Here is my all of the references. And now, right now, I want to thanks my teacher listening for my video presentations. Again, thank you so much, teacher, for my listening my video presentation. Again, thank you so much listening for my video presentation.